crafty friends, this is Maria at She's a Creative Girl. Today I'm going to be working on some Mother's Day cards because Mother's Day is right around the corner and I've got to make a few cards for las doñas in my family. Anyway, so this is what we're going to make. If you haven't figured it out, I'm really a shabby girl. I love anything shabby. So this is what I saw on Pinterest and I wanted to see if I can duplicate it. And this is my result. So I'm going to show you how I did this because I know Mother's Day is coming up. I can help a sister out, give y'all some ideas. So for this paper, let me show you what I used. So I'm a member of the Shabby Art Boutiques, the craft room. It's a club basically where you subscribe and you get digital kits. Digital kits meaning I print my own paper and my own embellishments. And that's what I use now to make cards and things like that, because I really don't have room to keep storing any more paper. That, you know, I buy a big old paper pack and then I never use it. So this way I can kind of just pick and choose what I want. Typically what I'll do is I will plot a card on my silhouette. I'll design it on my silhouette, figure out what size I need to cut paper, and then I will cut these papers down to size or resize them or plot them right on my silhouette and just use what I need basically. So the lines that I use, one of them is called Rosewood, and unfortunately it is exclusive to the club, but anyone can join. You can go to Carrie Ann's website. It's Shabby Art Boutique. You can look at the information that she's got posted about the craft room. And then this one's also from that collection. This other piece of paper here, these little embellishments I got from the farmhouse collection, the French farmhouse collection, and that is available on Etsy. I looked in her shop, she's got it on there. Okay, so let's get started. So I went ahead and plotted these onto my silhouette, and the card that we're making is going to be a 5.5 by 5.5 square. So I used 110-pound cardstock from Joann's, you know, that really thick Park Lane paper they used to carry. I only have one package left and it's almost all gone, and I know I'll never be able to get this again, but it's like the only 12 by 12 that I was ever able to find in the 110-pound. So I cut that in half and I made 2 cards. So this particular one, if you're new to card making, this piece basically you cut the 12 by 12 in half, and then I cut it again. So this measures 11 inches wide, and then I scored it in the middle, and then it's 5.5 inches high. Okay, so let's get started. So a couple of things that you'll need. You're going to need a tear ruler, because I like to tear. I don't like to measure a whole lot. A little bow made out of seam binding. You can use ribbon. I use some sari ribbon here. And you need a couple of flowers. I've got this little lavender one from my collection, and a couple of these from my stash also. I use this little piece to kind of hang on the bottom here. And I got that from this. I don't know where I got this from, whether I got it from CMS Lace or somebody must have gifted it to me, or maybe I got it from Hobby Lobby. I don't know, but I've seen some of this over there at Hobby Lobby. Anyway, I tore a piece of that off so that I can hang it here. You also need a couple of small pieces of cheesecloth, some foam tape, your distress tool, and your fussy cutting scissors. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. Okay, so if I didn't mention it, I also have art glitter glue here. I've got 3-in-1 or fabric tack, and I've also got my glue gun, and it's already nice and hot. Okay, so the first thing that I'm gonna do, so this measures 5.5, and when I did this one, I left too much of a white border, and I didn't like that. So we're gonna cut this just slightly larger this time. So, and I'm also gonna switch up how the papers that I use. So let me go ahead and get started with just one, because usually I like to make stuff in mass. And that's the reason why I like to use my silhouette. Usually I use my silhouette to cut a bunch of stuff. And it cuts out my embellishments and everything. I just love to do it there. It's just so much easier. So I'm just going to tear the papers out for starters. Got a stain frame here. You will need to cut out the little, I don't know that I'm going to use this piece here, but you can fussy cut these pieces while you're watching my video, right? Put that to the side. Okay, so then I'm going to come back and do this side. So if my card was 5.5, I'm probably going to cut this almost the same size. So let's do this. I'm going to measure on here on my mat. I hope you can see what I'm doing. 5.5, I'm just going to go maybe 1/8 of an inch shorter. So I'm going to put, actually I have to do it a little bit bigger. I went down to 5.25, maybe a little bit bigger right there. Like I said, it's not perfect. You don't have to be perfect. I mean, this is not scrapbooking. I like to tear my papers is all. So 5.5, and just slightly smaller than 5.5, maybe 1/8 or so. Now, I always like to save these little bits. So let me tell you about my paper. I print all of my digitals on, most of my digitals, I print on photo mat paper. And they come out so crispy and bright. And I get my paper at Amazon. Let's going to tear these off. Okay, so if this one's going to be my first layer, what did I do? This is my first layer. So let me go ahead and make this. I think I have to come back and make that a little smaller. That's probably what happened. My bad. I'm really good at that, aren't I? But you know, that's how it works when you're crafting. Sometimes you do stuff and you think it's going to come out a certain way and it doesn't, and you got to go back and rethink. So that's okay. I'm not worried about it, because if I mess this up, I can always go print some more paper. Okay, 5.5. A little tinier than 5.5 right there. All right, so there is my base. There is my first layer. Yeah, I like that it's covering up more of the white. So then my next layer is going to, I think I want to make this one my next layer, because the card, it has that same print on it. And on my other card, I actually laid this print on top of this print. And I think maybe if I did it where this was on top, then I would have the contrasting color. So I have like a purple, a cream, another purple, and another cream. That makes better sense. Okay, so this one's going to be a little shorter. So if this is 5.5, you can make this one 5.25. I think I'm going to make it, let me see, hold on. Let me see what I did here, because I don't remember. So this one is, yeah, it's about 5.25. So let's do, but it's not going to show, because I was at 5.5. It's not going to show too much. So I'm going to make it just slightly smaller than 5.25, just so the paper can peek through. So 5.25, and maybe a hair down. There you go. 5.25, less a hair. Okay, so that piece will go on top of that one, like so. See, you can't really see it a whole lot, so I might distress it a lot for it to show. Or let's see, 5.25. Why don't I just make that a whole 5? Let's just do 5. At this point, it might be too tight. Okay, so I have my phone on Do Not Disturb, and somehow the calls are still getting through. Ugh. Okay. All right, so that is this one. Yes, I like that better. You can see a little bit more of the lavender behind it. All right, so now we're going to do this one. So if this is like 5. It did about 5 inches. So this is going to be a little bit smaller. Let's do 5 less a quarter. That's 5. That's going to be 4.75. I'm just going to tear. All right, so that's going to go on top. right there, and make sure that it's the right direction. So if you wanted to do a lavender paper, a couple of lines that I can suggest. Mente has a really cute lavender paper. I forgot what it's called, but it's got the word lavender in it. And I know Stamperia has one for sure. So that is a way to go. Okay, so this little card I ended up cutting at about, let me get my other ruler. Oh my, all those things in there distract me. Okay, so this one's about 3.5 wide. So 3.5. Yeah, so basically I just tore off the white on this card. And we are going to chop off the top and bottom. I'm probably just going to tear that. All right, and then I tore some this way. Let's see how big I got this one. It's about 4 inches. So if you come down here to the 4-inch line, it doesn't have to be completely perfect. And your cut doesn't have to be perfect either. So there's the card for the side. And then we're going to layer the flowers and everything on it. Okay, so now what you're going to need is some foam tape. Let's get all your foam tape on your card. Let me do that off camera. All right, so I don't like to put a whole lot of foam tape on mine because sometimes I like to tuck things behind the card, which in this case, this is the 3rd layer, I believe, and we're going to put, or the 2nd layer, and we're going to put a piece of ribbon on it, and I want to fold the ribbon to the back of it, so I'm not going to put the foam tape all the way to the edge. And then this last piece, we're going to tuck a doily under it too. I forgot to tell you about the doily. I've got doilies somewhere. All right, go find that. All right, ladies, so you're going to need a small doily. I forgot to do that. 3. And I'm just pulling out 4 because I'm going to be making 4 cards. Okay, so, all right, so the first thing I want to do is put that piece of lace on the piece that I need it to be on. So let's see, and is that one? I believe it is this piece right here. And I'm going to make sure that my flowers are going the right direction. You can barely see that in the back. So I'm going to distress a whole lot on this page right here. Okay, so let me do that now. So I'm going to get my distress tool and just distress all the pages. I'm going to sit down to do this. I'm always standing up when I'm doing a tutorial, especially when it's something I've already done because I'm trying to move really fast. So I'm a shabby girl. I like to tear. I love like to show a lot of the white. Sometimes I paint, you know, the edges with some white. I like to splash. And I may splash this at the end. I've got the new Distress Spritz sprays that came out. And I've got to use them because, you know, I'm one of those people that I get one color and I just have to have all the colors in them. They just sit there and they don't get used. I can't do that. I can't do that. All right, so this one I want to make it a little smaller, so I'm really going to distress this one like a lot. I probably should tear some of it off, but let's see what it looks like first. And y'all, I don't know, one thing I don't like to do is edit. I mean, I do a lot of live videos for the scrapbook store where I work, with my scrappers, and I don't like to edit. It is what it is. So, yeah, I think I'm going to tear a little bit more off of here, just a little bit. I want some more of that background paper to show some. Now, I could have had these cut on my silhouette, and I'll tell you, if I was making 25 or more of these things, I probably would have, but it's all about enjoying the process, right? Okay, let's see now. Much better. Okay, a little distressing again. Okay, so for this page right here, let's see, this is going to be this one, this is going to be this one. And on my third layer, I am going to put a piece of ribbon, this one right here. So I have this lace that I bought. I don't even know. So this is from my doll making days. I still have all of my trims. I think I did mention that in my first video. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to just maybe hot glue a little bit down on the back and just kind of tack it back there. Try not to burn my finger. And then this piece here, and then I'll cut it. It's just to give the corner a little bit of a pop. I probably should wear my little silicone finger, but I'm good. Okay, so I'm going to come back and cut what I don't need. All right, so now I'm ready to start layering my pieces. So this one is going to go here. And I don't have anything else to put there. So I'm going to go ahead and tack it down. I wanted to do this video because I have a lot of friends that make cards. And I know sometimes it's hard to get ideas, and if you're like me, always wait until the last minute to do stuff. So I'm gonna help you out, girlfriend. Now I'm gonna tell you something, mailing these cards is not cheap. I just mailed a similar one for a birthday and it was almost $7. I couldn't believe it. But just FYI, fair warning, you might want to just hand give this one or hand deliver it to someone. So let me explain when I said doñas in my family. So I usually make poofy cards, right? I call them poofy cards to give to my mom and to my aunts. And then my cousins and all that. If I make cards, if I have enough time, then they'll get one that's a little bit less deluxe, only because they're so expensive to mail. Not that I don't love y'all cousins, I do. But yeah, I just at least try to get my mom and my aunts, and you know, they so look forward to getting my cards, and that just makes me feel good. All right, so this one's gonna go here. Oh, I love the way it's looking already. Love, love, love. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what I did with this one. I accidentally put it upside down. So make sure that you know how you're going to put this on your card. You can put it this way if you want to, or you can do like a little easel kind of card and put it this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I didn't do anything on the inside yet because I'm probably just gonna write a little personal sentiment on there. A lot of times if I want some fancy sentiments, I don't use a whole lot of stamps because I don't have a place to store those. I just, you know, plot it on my silhouette and I print it out. And I can make it look just as good. Got them all. All right, this is the right way. This is the top. Okay, I'm just going to put that right there. Love, 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 love. Okay, let's layer the little top card and then we'll do the little flower. So behind here, I'm gonna have to stick this under here somewhere. That looks good. I'm gonna tear a little bit more off at the bottom. So that it'll show an even amount of paper on both sides. So under here, I want to tuck this here first. Right, and I do want it to peek out a little bit. Bring it down a little bit more. Looks good right there. So in order to keep that in place, I'm just going to use my glue press. Y'all, if you don't have one of these, you've got to get one. You know, I don't buy a whole bunch of stuff at our store because, you know, I'm not really a scrapbooker, but I do like to make the books. But this has saved my life. So if you want to order one, we do have some over at Big Mouth Scrappers, and the website is bigmouthscrapperstx.com, and we do ship. This is the Petunia, my Sweet Petunia glue press. Okay, let's see. There's that. I'm going to put this on top, and I want to put a little cheesecloth right here. So I'm going to take my little cheesecloth, just tear me up a little piece. And I'm just going to stretch it out. I just want to get some texture behind there. So before I do that, I'm just going to, let me get my little rubber finger so that I don't burn my finger. All right, so I'm going to use the hot glue just to cheat because I'm trying to get this done quickly. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue there and tack my cheesecloth on there just so it'll peek through the other side. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to stick this under here. I'm going to kind of leave some space here for that that bow. Take this off now. All right, I'm going to just tuck this under here. Get just a little bit of space under here. Over here. Perfect. And then I'm going to take my little flowers. No, I think I'm going to put my bow first. So here's what I figured out. I actually played with this morning. I actually did a tutorial at the store where I crinkled some ribbon in a jar. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what I did this time. I cheated. So I just took my seam binding and I just kind of pushed it into my fingers and trying to make a little tight ball with it. And it crinkled it just as perfect. Sorry about my dogs. Okay. So, and there, it's perfect. They're actually just playing. They're not going to kill each other. So I'm going to leave them be. I've got 2 Yorkies. One of them is 9 months old and the other one is 9 years old. They're getting too close to me. Hang on just a sec. I think they heard somebody in the street. Anyway, so that's what I did. Just crinkled it and it still looks crinkled without having to do the water and the spray and the heat gun and all that stuff. Okay, so I'm just going to take my, I don't know, I think I may just use hot glue this time just to hurry up. It'll work. Okay, so I'm just going to put a blob right there. Because I usually use my 3-in-1 or my fabric tap to glue, to glue fabric to paper. But I ain't got time to be sitting there waiting for that to dry. Okay, so there is that. So I'm going to take my little flowers. I want the lavender one to be, I'm basically just kind of creating this little cluster that is on the paper. If you haven't figured that out, put some hot glue on my flower. Try not to make a stringy mess here. And I'm putting 3 only because when I started learning how to do all this stuff, my friends told me that you have to do clusters in 3 or 2. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know anything about rules. I'm just kind of self-taught. I do what I like, but sometimes it does look cute. Okay, so now I'm going to tuck a piece of, I forgot to put my seam binding under there. I have my seam binding for my cheesecloth, and I'm going to try to tuck some under there really quick. Just enough to kind of poke through underneath this ribbon maybe a little bit, or I can tuck it behind the card, because remember I told you I don't like to put them all the way to the end. Put that tape back there and just put a little bit of hot glue back here and still get the same result. Let me do that here. Just gonna put hot glue here and tuck my cheesecloth right back there, and it'll hold. There, I got my little texture. Perfect. Ooh. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little piece of this hanging. So there is a wrong side and a right side. If I can get my glasses on, I can see. I don't know where they went. It's okay. I think this might be a little bit too long. Let's cut one of these off. And I'm going to put a teeny bit of hot glue under one of these. And then just put that under there. Ta-da! All done. Okay, so I'm going to cut out my embellishments and I'm going to put them over here and then we'll be done. All right, so I'm going to put some foam tape on my little pot. Put it here in the corner. And then I got my little butterfly. I'm going to bend the little wings and use my glue press to put some glue on that and just kind of tuck it here in the corner. That's it. So she's all done. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Show me some love. And there we have it. Until next time. Oh, turn on those notifications too so that you'll get notified when I upload my next video, because I don't have a schedule yet. This is all new to me. And I'm trying to do something at least once a week for now, because I do something every day. So yeah, we'll see you later. Happy crafting.